Hi everyone! Today we have very special guest. He is an Indian ambassador for Indonesia in Timor Leste. Let's we join his activity and PT Ispat Indo. Come on!
Kita dapat melihat perusahaan-perusahaan kelas dunia tingkat atas, banyak CEO dari mereka adalah orang India. Sebagai warga negara Indonesia, apa yang dapat kita lakukan untuk meningkatkan keterampilan atau kemampuan kita untuk bersaing di pasar global? Terima kasih.
You are right in saying that India is an exporter of high quality human resource. And there are some examples already in this room of people who are working in this path who are absolutely high quality and many people ask me that why is it that the same question that you asked me, how is it and why is it? So there is not one reason. Initially I thought that it could be because of high quality higher education in India. Our founding fathers invested a lot in high quality higher education by establishing institutions known as Indian Institute of Technology and Indian Institute of Management. And another factor could be that our higher education was in English. And in the 60s and 70s and also till the 90s, there were not too many opportunities in India. India was following a socialist model of economy. So people who were highly educated did not find jobs in India. So they migrated to the West, mostly to UK or Germany and many to the United States. And at that time people used to say this is brain drain, we are losing our brains. But as India has developed, it has now become a question of brain gain in the sense our people are going abroad, learning, picking up skills, picking up experiences, and then they give it back to the mother country in some way or the other. And I think we are now quite reconciled to the fact that we will have large numbers of Indians who are very skilled and exceptionally good going abroad, but we also know that they will in some way or the other return that skill or investment back into India. And I think Mr. Lakshmi Mittal is a very good example of him coming here from Kolkata, setting up a steel factory, then moving on to setting up ArcelorMittal, and then investing in India in terms of ArcelorMittal large investments in India. So I think it's a cycle, and today we are not so worried because we are producing in large numbers CEOs who are going abroad and also coming back into India, or at least having the India connection is very useful because we can have our voice heard in foreign countries. But I think that one reason why Indonesia maybe has not done it so far, but it will happen more and more in the coming years, is I think a preference of Indonesians who go to study abroad of coming back to Indonesia. So you may not have so many global CEOs, but you have a lot of qualified and skilled people coming back to Indonesia, which I think in its own is a very good thing. So there are different models operating in India. Many people who go abroad to study do not come back to India. But in Indonesia, I find people going to Germany, people going to United States. Your presidential candidates, they have gone abroad, studied. I met with Pak Anis, he did a PhD from Milwaukee, but he's back here. And there are so many other who come back. So I don't think that one model is good or bad. There are different models operating in the world. Indians do export manpower, and we are a larger country that way. We are 4 or 5 times Indonesia in terms of population. So, in any statistic, our numbers generally higher. I hope I am able to satisfy. It's not an easy question, but I tried to do my best.
Okay. First of all, welcome to Your Excellency, Mr. Sandeep. My name is Penny. I'm from CEO office. So you have visited so many countries. You have visited so many countries in the course of your diplomatic career. And you mentioned in your blog, Chakravorty, that you are a traveler to both geographical and metaphorical destination, which I found it's quite interesting. So what are the things that you look for or observe if you to understand a new country? Thank you.
You see, for me, if I say, of all the places I have been to, I love Indonesia the most, and you may be thinking that I am not being, truthful. But the first thing which attracts me to any country are the people. That is certainly a big factor in judging a place. The warmth of the people, how open they are to receiving foreigners, how they open their hearts to do is a very big factor. And that is the essence of anybody's posting or tenure abroad. And as Parsi himself said that Indonesians are warm people, they are very receptive, and I find I easily connect to people in Indonesia, and it has a rich culture, rich in biodiversity, and also there is a mystical element in Indonesia, which I am discovering slowly. I have had very interesting experiences. In fact, my next blog will be on such an experience. So subscribe to my blog, and you will find an interesting story that happened to me personally. It was very, very uncanny. It is not normal, and both me and my wife were very touched by what we saw. I will not reveal the secret. You can read it in the blog. I am writing it right now, I think these experiences makes your stay memorable. Everybody works, so when you go back, you don't remember, or when you retire from a job, you don't remember how much tons of steel you produced, or what was the bottom line. You remember who was kind to you, who loved you, who gave you affection, who served you a good meal, who used to smile at you. I think human interactions are the only thing we take away from any job, any environment, and that is what I look forward to, and that is what I am looking at having in Indonesia.
My question is more related to your career as a diplomat. So I gather prior to your current appointment as ambassador to Indonesia and Timor Leste, you joined Secretary at Europe West at MEA, where you handled 13 bilateral relations, Consul General of India at New York City, and Ambassador to Peru and Bolivia. So my question to you is, in terms of fulfilling these different assignments or roles, how challenging it is to shift from one role to another, let's say in terms of geography, one, and second in terms of performing in these different geographies, and how varied the scope is in these different roles. Thank you.
You see, I think the benefit of a professional diplomatic service is this, that you move easily and conveniently from one role to the other. So we are all trained diplomats. India has a very long tradition of trained diplomats. Our foreign services is more than 70 years old. So I think being a trained diplomat prepares you to face challenges, and we easily move from one role to the other. But one skill which I think diplomats need are people skills. You should be able to meet a large number of people whom you have never met before or you will never meet again in your life, and give him or her the experience that you have known that person forever. I think that is a skill which one needs to have, and if you have that skill, I think you can pretty much move from one role to the other. That is I think we are used to it. If you can't handle that, then you should not be a diplomat. So I have had no challenge personally. Of course, it is challenging for the family, for the spouse. It practically destroys the career of the spouse, and children find it difficult. They end up having almost no friends, because every 2 or 3 years they're moving from. So my daughters studied in Delhi, Dhaka, Peru, and New York. In 4 countries they finished their 12th grade. So you can imagine what happens to friendships in school. So that is a negative part, but on the positive, my daughters are very resilient. They know how to adjust to any experience. They cross-cultural learnings. They make friends with almost anybody. So this is a positive, but then it's a mixed bag. But personally, I don't. I look forward to change. So rather than changing, a lot of people change jobs. I know in Ispat you get a job for life, but many people move from one company to the other. We don't have to do that. In one job, you find many experiences. So that's what I would like to say.